Public initiatives under Yoga Unplugged. Contests like Yoga with Family. The hope is to draw out lakhs of old, young, everyone to the mat via My Government and My Bharat platforms.
Okay, so what's happening? The Prime Minister has actually previously led International Yoga Day from iconic locations like the UN headquarters in New York to the Mysuru Palace to Srinagar. But this year he's in Vizag's coastal expanse and he will be, he becomes the global face of International sort of Yoga Day. And also, let's listen into some of the reactions which have been coming in anticipation to the day.
All right, we'll also bring you for a second the US, where the Indian Embassy in Washington, before going to that, Sonal, we'll hold off and we'll just show you. These are yoga sessions ahead of June 21st, all taking place at the Lincoln Memorial. That's what you're looking at on your screens.
All right, and in the UK, British MP also there hosted a special Yoga Day event inside the Parliament. Lawmakers and Indian spiritual leaders gathered under the historic paintings of Mark, which he called India's gift to the world.
Okay, we showed you US, we showed you the UK, but yoga isn't only about different countries and large numbers gathering there. It's also about accessibility, everyone being able to do it. That's what our next guest brings to the mat. We have with us here Sapna Dutt. She's a yoga teacher, she's an author, she's a digital creator, and she's been doing this for more than 20 years. Let's just go over to her. In fact, 30 years. Let's go over to her to understand how she does it. Hello, thank you for joining us.
Hi, so nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, should we start off by asking you a little bit about your practice? So just tell us about the change you've seen over 30 years. When you were doing this, 30 years ago, starting out, who were the kinds of clients you were seeing? Today, is it opened up to just everyone doing yoga? Just tell us more.
Correct. It's very, very interesting actually to chart the progression of the popularity of yoga everywhere in the world, and especially in India, since you're asking me about yoga here. So yoga in, say, my grandparents' generation, would be your great-grandparents' generation, was a very popular thing. In every Indian home, typically you'd find people were doing yoga. And then it slowly started kind of falling by the wayside. Then in the late 1980s, early 90s, it suddenly became very popular in the West, especially in the US, where there was a real, they suddenly saw that this is an amazing system of exercise, and it became infinitely popular in the US. And then we people in India said, hey, this is our thing. And then yoga came back in a big way in India as well. And what is interesting is when it came back in India, it came back as a very wholesome practice, because even if we didn't practice yoga, it's in the environment. We all know what yoga is. So yoga is not just that physical exercise, like the West was doing it for a long, long time. It's so much more than that. It's a way of life. It's a way that charts your spiritual life. It guides you, it gives you steps to follow on how we should live our life. It's about emotional stability, mental stability, all of that. So
I think it's so great that you said charting the journey is so important, because now yoga is so cool. Now yoga is so India. Now it's our gift to the world. But you were right, it skipped a couple of generations and all of us were gymming and wanting to be like bulking up. But talking about how adapting to times, we love the concept that you do something called chair yoga as well, which is something like we can do while sitting.
Absolutely.
So while we were on break for our audiences, we've switched our chairs, specially brought in by her. And we're going to be doing a little bit. Why don't you start by showing us the first one, and then we can
these are the kind of chairs we're sitting
let me show you the first one.
Yeah.
So the request for today was chair yoga, which is a great thing because it can be done by everyone. Doesn't matter your fitness level, your age, everybody can do chair yoga, and you can modify the posture. So the first exercise I've chosen is the cat-cow. Now in this, what we do is stand in front of the chair, palms flat on the chair seat, and you press the lower back down and get it into a concave position. This is really good to rid yourself of backache. So for younger people who are sitting at their work desks working for a long time, they can just spring up and do this every couple of hours. And then with the exhaling breath, round up the back, hunch it up completely. So now the spine is really stretched, all the vertebrae are really stretched apart. And then inhaling, we concave the lower back and you're squeezing your vertebrae close together. exhaling, you're rounding up the back, you're bringing your head down, chin towards chest. With the inhaling breath, we press the lower back down, we lift the chest and we look up. And then on the exhaling breath, we hunch up, round up. And we stretch the shoulder blades apart. Inhaling, concave the back, squeeze the shoulder blades in together. So you get the idea. Do this repeatedly for about half a minute, 1 minute, a minute and a half, however much time you have, and the back immediately opens out.
Yeah.
So,
but you mentioned young people sitting in offices, so we better join you on that.
Yeah, we're
note,
really coming across as very lazy swords right now.
Okay, time to take off heels.
Time to kick off your heels, and let's do the second one together.
Okay.
So another chair exercise we can do is the Proud Warrior 2.
Okay.
Now I think most people are familiar with this. So usually we do it without a chair. Here with the help of the chair, you stretch one leg out. I'm stretching my left leg out, bending the right leg. Okay. So the upper and the lower leg should come at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
And the other leg is stretched.
Completely
and
on the floor
then. Proud Warrior 2, also called excellent. Veerabhadrasana 2, the arms are stretched out
I must say,
to the
it's already
side.
paining on the left. So that's clearly...
Yeah, and don't lean the body anyway. So the body is perpendicular. And then while we hold this, we're going to do a little exercise also. Bend the right arm, rest it on the bent right leg, and stretch the left arm. It should graze the ear and stretch out. So what you're doing here is really stretching the left flank of your body. You can feel the ribs stretching apart, and you're squeezing the right side, squeezing the right lung. And then reverse, back hand on the back leg, and the right inner arm grazing your ear, and you're stretching back, arching back. And now you're squeezing the left flank and stretching the right. And then toggle between these two. So with the exhale, lean forward, excellent. And with the inhale, arch back, excellent. Exhaling, we lean forward, and on the inhale into this gentle back bending kind of position, correct. So see, this can be done by all ages.
Correct.
Every age, and
it's
it's
like the warrior
beneficial.
pose that you do standing, but
Exactly.
made easy with the chair.
Exactly, correct.
Great.
What should we move into now?
Let's move into another posture, and we'll do a twist, which is also really beneficial. So sit with the chair back on your right side.
Okay.
And sit a little forward in the chair, keep your feet hip width apart, and then you're going to grab the sides of the chair with both your hands, and here you make sure that the hands are at one level, and your right shoulder, your back shoulder shouldn't hunch up. Keep it pressed down. Then looking forward, inhale, become nice and tall, lengthen up without letting the lower back arch, and with the exhale, pull on the chair with your hands and twist your body to the right, twist the lower body, then the middle body, then the upper body, and then finally turn and gaze in line with the right shoulder. So you'll find that your right hand is strongly resisting and the left hand is pulling back. And the spine has got a wonderful lateral twist. So this is something like, wringing a towel or a cloth. And a very, very, very valuable stretch. And then you keep breathing, don't hold the breath, keep breathing as you're holding, and then slowly release and untwist from the top all the way to the bottom. And then you must do it on the other side as well.
Can we do it?
So flip over to the other side, correct. And now feet hip width, 90-degree angle between the upper and the lower legs. Grab your chair on the left side, hands at one level, look forward first. Inhaling, lengthen up without letting the lower back arch. Pull the tailbone down and tuck it into the body strongly. And then on the exhale, pull with the hands and twist your body. First your abdomen.
I've got a nice little crack there.
Yeah, then your chest. You got a crack?
Yeah.
Excellent. And now we're looking in line with the left shoulder. So see what this does is, all the nerves which are emerging out of your spine on both sides, there gets a fabulous stimulation. Hold for a bit, keep breathing, and then to release, untwist from the top to the bottom. Head, neck, shoulders, chest and abdomen.
Wow. Yeah. That was nice.
Yeah. So you instantly get invigorated.
Unknots your body. Yeah.
Unknots the body. Just squeezes and wrings it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To the next one
and, then let's do another one. And a forward bend is always wonderful. So sitting with our legs astride, and then bend down and bring your right palm on the floor. Now if you can't reach, see, I have a yoga bolster here. Or conversely, you can use yoga blocks. So people who are not very flexible or older people can place their hands on the blocks. You can even hold the blocks lengthwise.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to bend down that much. Those who can, hand down all the way on the floor, and then circle the left arm up slowly all the way till the arm is in line with the shoulder, and gaze up at that arm. So once again, you're getting a wonderful twist In the body, you're opening the left upper chest and you're giving a chance to these lymph nodes under the left armpit to drain nicely. Circle it back. So exhale as you circle it up and also look up. Inhale on the way down. Excellent. Let's do it another 2 times. Exhaling, we raise the arm up, 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 in line with the shoulder. Correct. Inhale, we circle it down. Let's release and do it on the other side now. So left palm flat, either on the floor or your fingertips could be down or on a support. And we circle the right arm up as we exhale, bringing it in line with the shoulder. So great for opening up that shoulder girdle, shoulder joint also, and then circle it back. With an exhaling breath, slowly take it up. And with inhale, circle it back. And doing it once again. And exhaling it up. Inhale, circle it back. So this works as a forward bend also. You're bending forward and getting the benefit of that inversion. And this is something you can do right there sitting on your chair while you're working. You don't have to be wearing your yoga clothes. And with the help of a chair, you know, any age, you could do it. If you have balancing issues or something, then the chair.
And I like how you don't have to push yourself to try and perfect the pose in the first time. You can use help, you can get something.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have blocks in office, just use a pile of books maybe. Just keep it there. Use that as just a bit of an elevation to make it easy for you, right?
Exactly. Correct.
Yoga
is so modifiable, which is so fantastic.
I do want to ask you, for people who are 60 plus, but who have not given love to their fitness their whole life, their bodies probably feel stiff and they want to take those first few steps. What's your advice? Where does one start?
You just dive straight into it, join a class or join an easy class, a beginner's class, and just do as much as you can and sit down when you can't do anymore. You learn a lot by just observing also. And the body is so forgiving, it just keeps on getting better. So regularity is the magic word. If you're regular, you'll keep changing. And any time in your life, you hear about so many people who started yoga in their 60s. I'm 63 today. I've been doing it for over 30 years now. And but people have started really late in life also, and they say it's amazing how they have improved in every way.
Can I ask you to sort of debunk this theory for me? A lot of people think that yoga is like golf, like for old people. It's slow. It's not easy. For young people need more than just yoga. Is that true?
No, not at all. Yoga is, that's the beauty of yoga, that you can make it excessively difficult and you can modify it and make it easier and easier. And it can suit you in every stage of your life.
Even strength training. It can cover strength training too.
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
With resistance bands, etc. for example.
You could use, like in my class, I use light weights, 2 kg weights. But you're also doing a balancing posture, you're using the weights also, so it becomes a very, very interesting exercise. And then in yoga, it's like, it's body calisthenics basically. You're picking up your own body weight, right? In so many postures, you're picking your own body weight. And see, in a gym, you can really bulk up. So you can't bulk up like that, but you build internal muscle strength. Definitely. So I would say it's great for strength training. You don't need any exercise besides yoga.
Not just for the old then.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Wait, can I ask you one last question before we let you go? Stepping slightly away from yoga, but staying in the region of being healthy. So many questions around protein, women consuming protein, especially when you're doing something like yoga, like exercise. I just want to know what you do, how you look after yourself, how particular you are about things like that, especially because I feel for many when they're starting on their fitness journey, taking care of yoga, taking care of food on top of that, then seeing that your protein is enough, it's a lot. You know, so what are your sort of stages when someone's just like, let me get into fitness, let me get into yoga?
Protein is something which is very talked about in today's times. And there are many different theories about protein. A lot of people say don't worry about it at all. You don't need so much protein. If you go on the other extreme and you are over-proteining yourself, there are lots of detrimental downsides of that as well. So what you should, a very sensible way to go by it is, see, in every meal, you should have 3 meals in the day. And in every meal, see that you have protein in every meal. I'm a vegetarian, but I eat eggs. And say for breakfast, I've got my eggs and some other stuff, I've got my protein. For my midday meal, I've got dal or something, I've got some protein. I'm eating badams and all in the day, I've got my protein. And there's tofu, there's so many other things. And if you have your chanas and your
So there are two
things,
games to be cracked here.
Yeah.
Consistency is the name of the game.
Yeah.
And balance is the name of the game, both
Right.
in terms of body and in
Right.
terms of how you eat your food as well.
And life.
And life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And music and all of it.
Yeah.
This has been an incredible episode. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming in and
Thank you.
showing us and sharing all of that with our audiences. It's a good note for all of you to get your chairs out and try some of these poses. Come right back. There is more entertainment news coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.
Goodbye. See you.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The president has a habit of promising decisions within 2 weeks. Kevin gave us a good summary. Now listen to it in the president's words.
I'll let you know in about 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. I could answer that question better in 2 weeks, and I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks. I'll announce it over the next 2 weeks. I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. It'll be out in about less than 2 weeks, probably.
Tim Naftali is a CNN presidential historian. We hear the 2 weeks and we all go for it. And at the end of the 2 weeks, nothing happens, by and large, usually. What do you make of it?
Well, I see these 2 week or 3 week or 1 month intervals as a symptom of the way in which Trump 2.0, that's the second Trump term, does foreign policy. The president sets a high standard, but there's no real policy follow-up because there's no real policy process. Ordinarily, presidents, whether of the left or the right, would have a national security team putting together a set of options from which they would choose which one they preferred. That process takes a while. We would be reading about it on media platforms or on CNN, and then the president would make a decision. But with the current Trump administration, the president says the ultimate goal first, right, and then when circumstances arise that do not permit that goal from being achieved, he has to back down and put in place the process that didn't exist before. So in this case, give you an example. He announces that he wants unconditional surrender from Iran. You and I know, Richard, that if you want to negotiate with an enemy, you don't make your position from the beginning unconditional surrender. Guess what? The president didn't get what he wanted from the Ayatollah, and so he now has to find another way to achieve whatever it is that he's seeking.
But this 2 weeks, during the period, no one really knows what is expected of them, or indeed what the jeopardy is at the end. I suppose here we know the jeopardy is that he'll drop a bomb, but nobody's really sure who is to do what over the next 2 weeks, or is it just arbitrary?
Well, wait a second, Richard. We don't know, but presumably the Israelis are in contact with the United States, and one would hope that there are some real contacts between Tehran and Washington. Here's what I'm looking for. The Israeli objective and the U.S. objective are not exactly the same. The United States would probably accept an end to the Iranian military nuclear program, but Israel seems to be seeking regime change. Now, because these are not the same thing. As regards the relationship with the Iranians,
and welcome back to Thank God It's Friday. I'm Kaveri Gupta and here's your quick guide to everything exciting happening this weekend. From blockbuster movie releases to binge-worthy OTT content and unmissable events across the country. So grab your popcorn and get ready for the most fun-filled ride of the summer. First, we have Sitare Zameen Par, the spiritual successor to Tare Zameen Par. This heartfelt drama is way ahead of his predecessor. Featuring Amir Khan, Darshil Safari and Genelia D'Souza, the film revolves around a compassionate coach, played by Khan, who mentors 10 individuals on the autism spectrum, guiding them to form a basketball team. Get ready to laugh, cry and cheer. This one's all heart. Next, meet Elio, an 11-year-old dreamer whose biggest wish is to be abducted by aliens. In this imaginative space adventure, Elio finds himself traveling across galaxies, meeting bizarre extraterrestrial beings who just might help him discover where he truly belongs. Last but not the least is 28 Years Later. This post-apocalyptic horror film stars Jodie Connor, Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Ralph Fiennes. Set nearly 3 decades later after the rage virus outbreak, humanity faces new threats in a bleak, dystopian world. Now moving on to OTT releases this weekend. Streaming on Netflix is Olympus. Step inside Spain's elite high-performance sports center, where a group of the country's most promising young athletes navigate rigorous training, personal struggles and fierce competition. Starring Clara Gale, Nira Oshaya and Augustine Della Corte, this drama is as emotional as it is intense. Next on Amazon Prime Video is Ground Zero. This gripping action thriller stars Imran Hashmi, Saitam Hankar and Zoya Hussain. Follow BSF officer Narendranath Dubey on a relentless Toya mission to track down terrorist mastermind Ghazi Baba. High-octane action meets emotional depth in this one. And finally, Kapil Sharma is back with fresh episodes of his hit comedy talk show, featuring fan favorites Sunil Grover, Kiku Sharda, Krishna Abhishek and Archana Puran Singh. The show promises laughs, celebrity banter and hilarious sketches. Well, today I also have a very interesting list of events you can attend. If you are in Mumbai tomorrow, catch Prashasti Singh's Divine Feminine, a laugh-out-loud stand-up comedy special that will have you rolling in the aisles. Go book your tickets now. Music lovers, assemble! Rekha Bharadwaj is performing live this Sunday in Kolkata. Expect a soulful evening filled with timeless classics and mesmerizing vocals. Well, that's a wrap for this week. Whether you're catching a movie, binging a new series or exploring a unique event near you, there's something for everyone this weekend. See you next Friday. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Brought to you by... This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The president has a habit of promising decisions within 2 weeks. Kevin gave us a good summary. Now listen to it in the president's words.
I'll let you know in about 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. I could answer that question better in 2 weeks, and I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks. I'll announce it over the next 2 weeks. I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. It'll be out in about less than 2 weeks, probably.
Tim Naftali is a CNN presidential historian. We hear the 2 weeks and we all go for it. And at the end of the 2 weeks, nothing happens, by and large, usually. What do you make of it?
Well, I see these 2 week or 3 week or 1 month intervals as a symptom of the way in which Trump 2.0, that's the second Trump term, does foreign policy. The president sets a high standard, but there's no real policy follow-up because there's no real policy process. Ordinarily, presidents, whether of the left or the right, would have a national security team putting together a set of options from which they would choose which one they preferred. That process takes a while. We would be reading about it on media platforms or on CNN, and then the president would make a decision. But with the current Trump administration, the president says the ultimate goal first,
Right,
and then when circumstances arise that do not permit that goal from being achieved, he has to back down and put in place the process that didn't exist before. So in this case, give you an example. He announces that he wants unconditional surrender from Iran. You and I know, Richard, that if you want to negotiate with an enemy, you don't make your position from the beginning unconditional surrender. Guess what? The president didn't get what he wanted from the Ayatollah, and so he now has to find another way to achieve whatever it is that he's seeking.
But this 2 weeks